As we reported Tuesday on ccxmedia.org, new restrictions ordered by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz take effect on Friday to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Those restrictions include bars and restaurants ordered to close at 10 p.m. except for food takeout. In addition, all patrons must be seated, no standing allowed. Health officials say the 10 p.m. time isn't arbitrary, though. They say contact tracing has shown that the rate of transmission roughly doubles after 9 p.m. Meantime, the Minnesota Department of Health on Wednesday reported a new one-day record for deaths. Wednesday's total was 56 deaths. The previous single-day high was 36. Wednesday is Veterans Day. On Tuesday, members of the Plymouth Police and Fire Department wanted to do something special to honor local veterans. And what better way to do that than with a free breakfast?
We've done it several times at City Hall, but we realize that there's a group of veterans that don't have the ability to drive perhaps. And with COVID changing the whole way that we interact with each other, we thought it might be more appropriate if we went to them and did special deliveries.
Tuesday morning, a group of 18 veterans who either live or work at the Waters of Plymouth Senior Living Community were treated to breakfast sandwiches, fruit, yogurt, and other special gifts. The gesture is part of an annual activity conducted by members of the Plymouth Police and Fire Department to thank the veterans for their service.
It means a lot to our residents here and to the employees both. We have a very good relationship with the Plymouth Police Department and the Fire Department. And just to know that we're being supported by them, makes us feel really good. And we also like to support them at the same time.
In addition to the Waters of Plymouth, Plymouth police and firefighters made 2 other stops this week to honor local vets. The crashes sure did pile up quickly during the first November storm of the season. The icy snowstorm produced more than 350 crashes and nearly 300 spinouts on Minnesota roads. That's according to the State Patrol. Snow totals in the northwest suburbs range from 2 inches in Brooklyn Park to 3.6 inches in Golden Valley. Other parts of the state had much more snow, but sleet coated metro area roads, leading to slippery conditions. The possibility of snow and ice isn't the only thing drivers need to worry about this time of year. Minnesota is also entering peak season for deer vehicle crashes. A farmer's insurance study found that 2/3 of drivers believe swerving is the best way to avoid damages. But as Pafua Yang reports, that may put drivers more at risk.
It's peak season for when deer are on the move, and drivers in the Northwest Metro should be extra cautious.
I would say November is a very busy month for us in terms of deer crashes and people that are involved in deer crashes.
Lieutenant Gordon Shanks with the Minnesota State Patrol says in the last 5 years, there's been more than 7,000 deer car crashes. That number includes 20 deaths.
17 of those deaths were on motorcycles. So obviously, whenever you have a motorcycle and you hit a deer, there's less protection in terms of a vehicle compared to motorcycles.
Deer collisions used to happen mostly in greater Minnesota, but recently it's been more of a statewide issue. According to a state farm study, Minnesota is one of the top 10 states where animal collisions are most likely to happen.
In the past decade, deer crashes have decreased, but that's only due to the fact that some aren't reported. So every time someone hits a deer, they may not report it. They may just call their insurance. So we don't have an actual accurate number in terms of what the actual data says.
The number of deer car crashes is significantly lower than it used to be. Lieutenant Shank says in the 1990s, the state averaged around 6,000 deer crashes a year. Last year, there were only about 1,200.
A controlled deer hunt is basically a deer hunt under where we restrict where the hunters can be.
John Moriarty with Three Rivers Park District says part of the reason for the significant reduction of deer-related car accidents could be due to controlled deer hunts.
We encourage the hunters to take does because what we're trying to do is manage our deer population. We basically have too many deer in the metro. And so by taking the does, you reduce the number of deer in the population.
Three Rivers Park District holds controlled deer hunts in 12 of its parks, including this weekend at Elm Creek in Maple Grove.
Deer car collisions are a major issue in the county. I mean, there are, over 300 deer car collisions a year just on state and county roads, and at an average of $5,000 per deer car collision.
To avoid deer car crashes, Shank says buckle up and don't veer for deer.
If you swerve out of the way, you end up in the ditch. You end up hitting another vehicle if you swerve into the wrong way of traffic. So, the impact of that crash is going to be far more severe than hitting a deer.
And if you do end up hitting a deer, SHANK says call 911. Pafuyang, CCX News.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.
The COVID-shortened regular season wraps up Wednesday for most local football teams. It's been a good season for the Armstrong Falcons. This week, our CCX Sports Spotlight shines on two defensive backs who are excelling for the Falcons.
Coming off an outstanding 2019 season.
2nd and 18, right back going to throw deep down the sideline, and it is complete. Bowman.
The Armstrong football team knew they'd have a lot of new faces in the lineup this fall. One old and one new are shining in the defensive secondary and in the return game.
Now the pass is intercepted by Sherwood.
Number 29, senior Rashad Sherwood, is a returning starter at cornerback. Number 4, junior safety Jordan McClomb attended Maranatha and played in the Providence Academy Co-op program last fall before transferring to Armstrong. They hit it off right away.
We met him probably like the first week. They said like we're gonna have our season. And once they told us that once we knew he was coming, I instantly told him he's going to free safety because I like corner and I didn't want to play free. So I said, you're going to free. And that's what he's been at so far.
It's been like a brotherhood to me, you know, especially because we have no school because of COVID. So not a lot of time to meet in the classroom. So when we come out here, we're all just focused. And, you know, they really welcomed me. I started working out with them in the summer just a little bit. You know, it's been a brotherhood ever since then.
Sherwood intercepted 3 passes total in the Falcons' first couple of games this season, despite teams not throwing his way much because of his blanket coverage. He's grown into a bigger role, literally.
My junior year, I was like 138 pounds starting varsity, so I was like real scared, but I still made it through the season. And now I'm like 165, so now everything's like fun. I'm not getting pushed around or anything. I'm actually like making the hits instead of getting hit.
Honestly, when I see him on the other side, I know that side's locked down. I don't got to worry about anything going his way, because I know if it goes his way, it's an interception every single time. Don't got to worry about anything on the left side of the field.
He was kind of a smaller guy. We always knew he was going to be a great football player, right? And so last year, you know, we were hoping that we were thinking he'd be one of our starter guys, and he just kind of showed up last year. He's a spectacular football player. He's a great kid, right? He's been committed. He's one of our captains, and he's earned that spot. You know, I think it's pretty safe to say he's probably the best corner we've had since I've been here for 7 years. He can play.
Rashad, I got to say, is probably one of the best cornerbacks we've had here since I've been here. And that's over the past 9 years. And his technique is good. He's a fast learner. His skill level is very high. And, you know, and his football IQ is very good.
McCombs opened some eyes with 2 kickoff return touchdowns and an interception return for a score in the Falcons' first 3 games.
It's a game changer. You know, to start the game off with like a 95-yarder or 85-yarder, taking them back to the house, it gets the whole team jumping, the whole stands jumping. You know, it switches the momentum of games.
Jordan, he has real good technique. I'll say his best thing with him is his ball skills and his sideline-to-sideline speed, because he's really good at that. And then he can read the quarterback before the play even starts. So like he's already in his back pedal and can read where the ball's gonna go, and then he just reacts off that.
He's a spark plug to the secondary. You know, I kind of look at him as a true free safety, a guy that knows what to do, kind of runs the defense and kind of keep everybody in check.
You know, as a coach, you always worry about some new guys coming in and, you know, the chemistry piece, but he's an awesome kid, right? And so, I mean, if you watch out here right now, you'd think he'd been with us for years. And so the guys took him in and he loves the guys. And so he's a special player, but again, another character guy.
Armstrong's got some young talent as they try to keep the momentum from last year's 9-1 season going. With Rashad Sherwood and Jordan McClomb, among others, having strong seasons, it's been a fun start to an unusual 2020 season.
It's definitely been a fun experience, you know, transferring schools to a bigger school, playing against bigger competition. But it's been fun, you know, practices are electric, we're having fun, winning games. Best way to put it.
So far our team did better than what I was expecting. The first game was a little off, so I'm like, we need a lot of work. But now our offense came together since they're super young. They all came together and they're doing their thing right now.
The play of the week is back on CCX Sports this fall. This week's winner is a touchdown pass from Maple Grove football's Jacob Kilzer to Demarion McCoy. Visit our website, ccxmedia.org, to vote for the play of the week.